Body Shop Physical Therapy. I'm Dr. Catherine Price. I'm a physical therapist, and today I'm going to go over how to mobilize the lower extremity, so your lower body, lateral fascial line. The fascia is the connective tissue in the body that holds the body together. It wraps around the muscle fibers, the muscle belly, and connects the body through this web-like structure, and like to work with anatomy trains. And this is particularly for my runners, walkers that have hip bursitis, ITB syndrome, pseudo-sciatica, which is pain that comes from the glute minimus and can go down the outside of the leg, as well as any peroneal tendinopathies. So this is going to be a way to mobilize that entire lower extremity lateral fascial line, and there can be a problem on that lateral line throughout one side of the body, or it can also be involved in the spiral line where you get into these rotational movements, and that's going to be more of a holistic and approach with adding the upper body when a physical therapist assesses you to find out where your tracts are being strained. So I will go through and show you how to release the muscle and tension in both the fascia and trigger points of the muscle through that whole lateral line. So again, this is for someone that's experiencing either hip bursitis, pseudo-sciatica, ITB syndrome, or a peroneal tendinopathy. So I'm going to start up in the hip with my gluteus medius and minimus muscle. Throughout this, I'm going to use 3 different tools: a lacrosse ball, single lacrosse ball, a peanut ball or a double lacrosse ball, 2 lacrosse balls that are combined, and then a foam roller. And the rule of thumb is to go from a soft, wider surface area to a smaller, harder surface area. So you may want to start with a softer foam roller and work towards something that is more dense. So to begin, I want to release the upper fascia over the glute med, and that's going to also be part of the IT band, the iliotibial tract. So I'm going to go to my hip bone, the top of the crest, and then I've got a bony prominence that sticks out. That's my greater trochanter. So I'm going to go right in the middle of that, and I'm going to place the lacrosse ball. Then I want to go directly onto my side with the back leg behind me, and then applying pressure. This leg that's on the bottom is completely extended and in line. My heel is in line with my hip. So I don't want my leg forward. I don't want to extend it too far back. I'm just going to keep it right here in line. Now, once I'm in this position, I want to lie completely flat. It can be intense if there's a problem there. And I'm going to just go an inch backwards and an inch forward. So I'm going to go over that connective tissue. I'm applying pressure on the muscle, but also the upper iliotibial tract, the IT band, and holding where there's any tension. Now, being a walker, runner, you're going to go through an active release. So I'm going to bring my knee up as if I'm going through that running movement, or walking as I'm progressing forward. So I'm going to bring my leg up and then bring it back down. And you want to spend as much time as you can here to release the tension. So either feeling the decrease in that tension and also the decrease in the tenderness. So that's going to be the beginning of the upper portion of the lateral line. I'm going an inch forward, an inch back, working on that area. Then I'm going to follow that line right down using the foam roller, going onto the IT band. So I don't want to be on the bone. So that bony part that sticks out, that trochanter, want to go below that, apply pressure there, and then I'm going to mobilize all the way to the knee and then come right back. And I'm just going to go slowly applying pressure. And this can be really intense, so you're going to be starting wherever your body will allow you. Sometimes you can't apply all the weight, so you'll need to put the foot down and kind of ease into the amount of weight. As you progress, you can stack the legs and apply more weight there. And then as it is becoming more mobile in the tissue, you can hold pressure where you find your most tension or tenderness, and begin to bend that knee to mobilize that anterior part of the lateral line. So again, we're working on the lateral line. It takes 2 minutes to allow the fascia to mobilize and release. So you can spend longer, but the minimum of 2 minutes on each area is going to be most effective to getting a change in that soft tissue. Okay, working my way down, same track, so staying on that lateral line. I'm then going to take the double across ball. My peroneals are going to be on the outside of the fibula, which is the bone in the outside of the lower leg, and they're going to attach down into the fifth metatarsal on the foot. So I want to mobilize the muscle belly and fascia there. That's also the crural fascia. So I'm both mobilizing the muscle and the fascia. So I'm starting at the top of that fibula. I don't want to be on bone. So if you're putting pressure on bone, you want to come off of that, and then going all the way down to the lower part, just above the outside of the ankle bone. So following that muscle belly all the way down. So you've got your peroneal longus and brevis, and you're mobilizing those peroneals. If you find an area that feels tense, then you want to take your foot and you want to pump it up and down so that you are actively releasing the peroneals, and then applying pressure going right through that lateral fascial line. And you can go slow. You can spend as much time as you need to on that area. And then pumping that ankle up and down. So this is great if there's a peroneal tendinopathy. It allows the muscle tendon relationship to restore. You're resetting those muscle spindles when you're applying pressure and going through that. So that is the release and the fascial mobilization of the lower body lateral line, starting up with the hip on the upper part of the IT band, the glute med knee, following it right down the IT band, iliotibial tract, and into the peroneals. And then you can mobilize the bottom of the foot to further work on the fascia there. And I'm going to address that with the ankle arthrokinematic system. But this is the way that I would address the lower extremity lateral fascial line if there is a problem from the ankle all the way up to the hip, anywhere along that line. And sometimes it presents as either a hip bursitis, an IT band syndrome, pseudo-sciatica, or peroneal tendinopathy. And then if it is strained, you've got a ligament underneath the IT band called the lateral collateral ligament, the LCL. So you can even have knee problems if there is a strain in that lateral fascial line. That is how you mobilize that. I